And in the last video we finished talking about the post page, and this we have two files left to check. It's post and post manager. So what we're going to be doing now is checking the post and how it works to have an empty form if you're going to add a new form, uh, or a form with the contents from the database if you are trying to edit it. So how do we do that? We're going to create an if to check if the file has an ID sent via GET. If you remember, let me show you here. Just logging in first. When I click Edit, it sends an ID via GET to the post page. And what we are checking is, if you have this ID here, you are going to be connected to the database and loading the information to get it here. If you don't, it's going to be just a new post. As you can see here, no ID, the form comes empty. So how do we do that? Let's take a look at Dreamweaver. So here I'm checking. So remember that the exclamation mark means not. So I'm asking if get ID is not set, so if this thing here is, if you don't have a get ID, and this is the fun part, I don't need to echo the form. What I do is I close PHP, I get the whole HTML here as pure HTML, and I reopen PHP to close the if. Okay, so I'm having all this part here inside the if. So that's what happens if it is a new post, it's just the empty form. But else, so if we are sending an ID here, what we do is this. We need to connect to the database, so we include the connection string. We transform that ID we received via get into a variable. We store it in a variable, and we write our statement. So we use the connection and prepare the statement here. Pay attention that I'm not using select everything. It's a good practice to have only the data you need from the database. It makes it faster. In our case, it's still a small database with little data, but as it gets bigger, this starts becoming a problem. One important detail here, remember that these things here are the headings on your database. Okay, you can't, these are not variables, or these are not the names in the form. No, these are the titles of each column on your database. So post title and post text as they are written there. Also, remember that this here, the first thing after the where, needs to be written as it is in your database. And just reminder, I've seen this a lot over the last few days, don't forget this is a parameter and you need the column here. So after that, you just bind the parameter, execute, and again, in this case you're going to be receiving only one line, so we need to use the fetch function to receive this line and store it into this new variable here called result. After you receive it, you just store each item in this array into a different variable. So I'm transforming the post title, and pay attention, result post title, okay, comes from here. So this post title is the index, and this is exactly the heading from the table in the database too. Store that in a variable, do the same thing for text. Now we'll do that once more. So if you did all that, then you can close PHP here and add the form. But how are you going to show the things you retrieved from the database in your form? You're going to do this. So I'm getting mode edit here. This is going to be important in the post manager. Remember, I'm going to be sending this to post manager, and I'm going to need the ID. So this ID I'm echoing here, and yes, I open a new PHP, echo ID, and close PHP, and you continue with your HTML as normal. Now for the title, I need to add this value, okay, and again PHP echo title. So I'm echoing here both the quotation marks and the title through PHP. After that, it comes the text area. You don't need a value here for text area. Instead, what you do is just echoing your post, echoing the text inside the tags, so between the opening and closing tag for text area, and that's it. Okay, if you do that, this is going to be showing your post title and post text in your post page. Okay, the last video we have is going to be about Post Manager and how it's going to be inserting new posts, deleting, and editing posts that are already saved. We're almost there.